Antes de que o después de que. Before doing something or after doing something. Let's begin with antes de que. This structure will always go with subjunctive. No exceptions. Always subjunctive. For example, tengo que hacer los deberes antes de que sean las 8 de la tarde. I have to do the homework before it's 8 p.m. We don't say antes de que son las 8. That would be the indicative and that would be incorrect. It has to be antes de que sean las 8. Before it's 8. It's the same meaning, but it's using subjunctive. Voy a ducharme antes de que Silvia venga a casa. I'm going to have a shower before Silvia comes home. Not viene. It's venga. Antes de que digas nada, escúchame. Before you say anything, listen to me. Not dices. Digas. Nosotros vamos a pasear antes de que llueva. We're going to go on a walk, or we're going to go for a walk, before it rains. Not llueve, it's llueva. So remember, in this case, you don't have a choice. Antes de que, before doing something, it will always have the subjunctive. Let's see después de que, after doing something. This one is a little bit tricky, as it can be followed by both the indicative or the subjunctive, depending on when the event takes place, where the action, the verb, takes place. If the action, the event, the verb that we're talking about is in present, we can only use indicative. Después de que Silvia come, ella hace los deberes. After Silvia eats, she does her homework. Present action. Yo empiezo a trabajar después de que desayuno. I start to work, or I start working, after I have breakfast. So the she does the homework, or I start to work, or I start working, they're both in present. That's why the verb after después de que has to be in indicative. If we're referring to past events or past action, past verb, then in this case we have the two options, indicative or subjunctive, and it does not change the meaning. You can use either of them and they will mean the same. Después de que Silvia supo el resultado de sus exámenes, ella se fue de vacaciones a España. After Silvia knew the results of her exam results, she went on holidays to Spain. That supo is pretérito perfecto simple de indicativo. It's in indicative mood, but still a past action. Remember, past event, indicative or subjunctive. Now the same sentence using the subjunctive. Después de que Silvia supiera o supiese el resultado de sus exámenes, ella se fue de vacaciones. After Silvia knew the result of her exam results, she went on holidays to Spain. Supo is indicative. Supiera or supiese, both are the same tense, is subjunctive. And in this case, both sentences, both examples, using indicative and using subjunctive, they mean exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter which one you use in this case. Después de que mi amigo me contó su problema, fui a su casa. After my friend told me his problem, I went to his house, using the indicative. Después de que mi amigo me contase o contara su problema, fui a su casa. After my friend told me his problem, I went to his house, using the subjunctive. So remember, if the action is in the past, you have freedom to use indicative or subjunctive. If the action, event, verb is a future action, then it can only be subjunctive. Giving you the same examples as the present event examples so you can see the comparison. Después de que Silvia coma, ella hará los deberes. After Silvia eats, she will do her homework. Doing her homework now is in future. I'm not saying ella hace los deberes. She does her homework. I'm saying ella hará los deberes. She will do the homework. Yo empezaré a trabajar después de que desayune. I will start to work after I have breakfast. Again, I'm not saying yo empiezo a trabajar, like in the first case, I start to work. I'm saying yo empezaré a trabajar. I will start to work, I will start working. The action is in the future. That's why the verb after después de que, it has to be in subjunctive. Bear in mind and take in consideration that we do not use this structure as often as the basic structure, the one of my previous video about antes o después de plus infinitive. So before or after doing something, but using the infinitive, the verbs ending in AR, ER, or IR. But sometimes you cannot avoid the structure de que, after, antes, or después. And this is why it's a really good thing to as well know. But remember, this is for advanced Spanish. If you are currently in a basic level or even, bit more than basic, I wouldn't expect you to know or even understand this. So this is for the ones that you are in a higher level, for you to try to understand it and even use it. If you want to practice a little bit, write some sentences in the comments and I will correct them. And don't be scared of using the subjunctive. I will correct it. It's okay to have mistakes. You will learn from the mistakes.